with nearly everything in trading, the more that you as a trader actually do, the less you're going to make. And this can be seen from so many different things, whether it's the more chart time you put in or the more trades that you put in, the more anything for the most part is going to equal less profits. And this is something I've seen over a decade of day trading. And when I came to this conclusion in my own trading, everything changed. But I just don't want to tell you how more is less, but I'm also going to tell you how we're going to combat this. So let's delete this guy so we can get straight into it. All right, here we go. So first, let's look at consistency saves. So when it comes to consistency, if you've been following the channel, then you know exactly consistency is that one thing that equals not just profits, because if you make $1 at the end of the year, you're profitable, but is that one thing that really can generate wealth, riches. This marker's dying on me. There you go. In trading. Why? Because we know that with investing, with anything that we do in life, really, that the more and more we do something consistently, the better we get at it. And trading is the exact same thing because of this beautiful thing that traders love to talk about, which is compounding. And compounding is the thing that has allowed people like Warren Buffett to become so immensely rich over time because they were able to do something consistently for a long period of time. And one reason why, me personally, I don't necessarily trade prop firms is because prop firms really incentivize people to trade inconsistently by trying to target an amount that's just not realistic for a trader with good risk management to hit on an ongoing basis, right? So for the most part, that's why I steer away from them because I'm more interested in the consistency that leads to the compounding over time. And if you're not yet sold on compounding, then I want you to literally go on your phone, type up compound interest calculator, put like $1,000 in, and I want you to see that if you're able to say hit a 20 or 30% return a year on your account, so maybe about 3% a month, which is doable, what that's going to look like over the span of 10 years or 15 years. And I want you to tell me how compounding is not the way to truly get rich trading. And I'm not just saying this from theory or anything like that, but there are literally traders out here that are not aiming for 10%, that are more than happy with 3% because they know they can hit that consistently and compound their money with that. So with consistency saves, how can we actually do this? Because everybody knows that, well, everybody has been following the channel knows that strategy equals emotions equals lost profit. What does that mean, right? Strategy equals emotions equals lost profit. This is something that I share with traders so often because when you trade a strategy, you're going to be emotional. Why? Because it's 100% you executing exactly what you believe the market should do based upon a strategy you tested. But when you're in the market 100%, one thing that happens is emotions always come up to play. Whether it's emotions like over trading, fear, holding on to losers, cutting winners too short, all of these emotions add up and it decreases your profit over time to the point to where not only is your profit down, but you're not even a profitable trader anymore. And you can't even do the compounding method. So what I have been able to do, and this is the epiphany that I came upon, and I shared it in the last video. Long story short, lost a whole lot of money to come to this epiphany, but luckily for you, you don't have to lose money to learn it, is something I love to call system. But not just a system. I developed personally a system that works, if I can say that so plainly. I start stuttering when I get excited, and I start stuttering when I start talking about systems, because that's really how you build wealth in trading. But the system that I created is a 3-tier, let me see, 3-tier trading system. And 3-tier is something that I specifically have developed because there's a lot of confusion, a lot of ambiguity out there when it comes to systems. So 3-tier is going to take three things: your emotions, your execution method, your strategy. It's going to combine all of those things together. So there's less of you, more of your system, so that you can actually trade consistently over the span of years. And once traders that I work with, once they come to this conclusion that, okay, I can see how a strategy makes me emotional when I trade it, and it's human nature to have emotions, you're not a robot. And once I implement the 3-tier system, which is combining my strategy plus an execution method plus no emotions in trading, which we went over, I think, in the last video, then you can quickly understand how more is less. Because once you have a actual system installed, well, guess what? Now you're not spending as much time on a chart, so your chart time goes down. Now you may be asking yourself, well, RD, why does it matter if chart time goes down? Like, why is that important at all? And it's very simple, because equals chart time equals emotions every day of the week. And in my trading journey, I was wondering why, when I used a strategy that revolved me to be on the charts more often, even though on paper the strategy was more profitable, why was it that I was losing more money? And it was the most insane thing. I couldn't figure it out, because I came upon so many different strategies, from ICT, complicated break and retest, COT reports to understand when to get in, when to get out, all of this, convoluted stuff. And I thought I came upon the holy grail strategy, because when I back tested it, the numbers just blew stuff out the park. But yet, when I went on a chart, it was losing. And it was one of those most devastating times, because you finally think you cracked the code on trading. You finally think that you can retire, start living your fantasies, do whatever you want to do, just to have another account blown in the market. That's exactly how I felt, until I realized, yes, that strategy is incredible if I'm able to trade it flawlessly without emotions. But because the strategy was so complicated and convoluted, had so many steps to it, that means that I had to spend a lot of time on a chart to watch the trade play out, to confirm the trade on a 5-minute time frame, then a 1-minute time frame, then a 10-second time frame. And I had to do all these confirmations and watch the chart so much. And I didn't know at the time that the more chart time I have, the more emotions are going to come up in my trading. That's why chart time kills your profits in trading. So, in order to be able to actually follow this principle that more equals less, more chart time is less profits. Okay, so now I just don't want to have a system, right? Because all systems are not the same. That's why I wanted to develop the 3-tier system that I love to teach to traders, so that there's a universal system that we follow. And with this system, it should be a system that's actually decreasing emotions, because you're decreasing your chart time. For example, last week, yeah, okay, I can give you this example. Last week, I was trading the open markets, and my system did incredibly well. Now, when I say my system, a lot of people say, well, Reed, I know it's the 3 parts, which is execution, no emotion, strategy. But when you say my system, what are we specifically talking about, right? A lot of people think my system, when I say system, it revolves things like maybe algorithm, or maybe, mechanical trading, or maybe rule-based trading. And truly, a system can be whatever you establish it to be. There's no one size fits all. That's why I like to guide traders through developing a system that works best for them. But for my system, I spent less than 10, 15 minutes on the chart, and I was able to get really good returns last week. Why? Because I spent less than 15 minutes on the chart. So my chart time is down, so my emotions are down. And because of the way I set up my system, my emotions are canceled out. Why? Because I'm doing less of charts so I can get more of profits. That's why you need to have something that you can consistently execute over and over and over. And with this topic of consistency, if we can go back to it, one of the biggest things that kills consistency is something that we all have done in the past. Hopefully, you don't do anymore. Is this. And I know this handwriting is absolutely awful, but let's just imagine it's decent. It's overtrading, because overtrading is when you are trading outside your strategy. In other words, you are not being consistent to what your strategy tells you to do. And we know that consistency is the key to actually becoming rich in trading because you're able to compound it over time. But if I'm over trading, which is inconsistently trading my strategy, then I cannot compound my trades over time to truly achieve the result that we all want to achieve in trading. That's pretty mind blowing, isn't it? Because if it is, let me know it is. Type in the comments that it is something. Because when I figured this out, when I understood this, I started to ask myself, how can I spend the least amount of time on the charts, place as few trades as I possibly can so I can make more money? And that's where my system came in. So, over trading causes lower profit because it doesn't allow you to be consistent. The whole goal in trading is consistency. And emotions ruin your ability to be consistent because it makes you to do impulsive decisions that you would never do on a daily basis. That's why you need to get a system to have in place in order to kill that emotion so that you can be consistent. Because what good is it to have a 10% month in January followed by a 15% month in February just to lose 20% in March? It's the consistent factor. It's the emotion factor. It's the what's happening in your personal life, because whatever's happening in your personal life is always going to bleed into your trading life. Being consistent, because more is less. More trades, less money. More chart time, less money. More inconsistency, less money. It happens over and over again, and I can't tell you the amount of traders that this is true for. Stay consistent. Start doing less so you can have more. And the last point, which is arguably the most, and when I came over this, obviously I knew this, but when I truly started to dissect it, it took a whole nother meaning for me. And the strategy is simple. Well, not the strategy. This point is simple, and the point is you are not God. What do I mean by that? Only God can force something to happen. Only God can make something out of nothing. We as traders, so often we see a trade that we think may work out. We see a trade that looks good. We see a market that is just shooting down, 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 and down. So we want to get in on that, right? Because we have a lot of chart time on the charts 24/7. We get bored. We want to trade something. So we just start trading the market because it's trending very well. And we think that we are able to create profit out of nothing. And when I say out of nothing, I mean we think that we are actually able to profit from the market outside of our strategy. And when you have this mindset that you can profit from the market outside your strategy, or that you're trading outside your strategy, in other words, you're trading London session when your back tested results say only trade US session, or you're trying to trade an ICT when only you're supposed to do break and retest, or you're trading different currency pairs, different stocks, different futures options when you're supposed to just stick to one, because you think that somehow you can make money out of nothing. You think that you can actually be God in trading. And I promise you this, when you think that you can be God in trading, you are doing more because one, you're over trading, and that's going to cause you to make so much less money. So if you have this mindset that you are not God, I need to stick specifically to the system that I make that is based on my strategy in order to actually make money in trading. You will no longer have the mindset, and you will no longer think that you can profit from nothing. And I'm telling you, when I came to this epiphany that more is less in trading, you will save so much more time, so much more energy, preserve your emotions, and make more than you ever had in trading. This is RD Trades, and I'm out.